Hey Stitchy Muses and welcome back to Sewing Vision. I am Vivian and today we are making the Adele bodysuit. The top part of this design uses the Adele bra pattern, but today we will connect it to a bodysuit bottom to create a completely new piece. For this version I'll be using a single layer cups, but you can also make them double if you prefer more coverage or support. This bodysuit also doesn't use underbust elastic and closure, which creates a very clean and minimal look. If you love lingerie and swimwear sewing, don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this one. Now let's jump right in. For the top part of this bodysuit I am using the Adele bra pattern, but you can actually combine this bodysuit bottom with many different bralette patterns to create a completely different bodysuit styles. When combining a bralette pattern with a bodysuit bottom, it's always a good idea to check that the circumferences match. The underbust of the bralette should correspond with the top edge of the bodysuit bottom. Depending on the pattern and the size, they may not always match perfectly, so it's good to measure and adjust the pattern if needed before cutting the fabric. Today I am finishing the underarm edge with fold-over elastic instead of a pica elastic. When using fold-over elastic, you would normally remove the seam allowance along the entire underarm curve, but I personally prefer to keep a little more fabric in this area, so I only remove the seam allowance in this section and blend the line smoothly into the underarm curve, like this. Now I can cut it with my paper rotary cutter. This is the fabric one. No worries. And I will just cut it like this. So this is my new upper cup, ready to use the fold over elastic. And for the bodysuit bottom, the pattern is designed to finish the leg openings with the cover stitch by folding the edge to the wrong side and stitching it down. If you prefer, you can also finish the leg openings with pica elastic, and if you would like to use the fold over elastic instead, just simply remove the seam allowance from the leg openings. Now let's move to materials. For this style you will need half meter of the main fabric, the full width. Normally they are 150 or 140 I believe. This one is 140 I think, and it's totally okay for all sizes, so 140 is totally enough, don't panic. Then 1 meter of lace, I'm using stretch lace as always, 1 meter of fold over elastic, then 1 meter of strap elastic, 4 rings and 2 sliders. And for the crotch closure I am using regular bra hook and eye closure, but if you prefer snap buttons you can easily use those instead. And a small piece of lining fabric if you prefer to sew your crotch piece double layered. I usually wear panties under the bodysuit, so I sew it from just one layer. We can start with the main pieces. Place your front piece on the fold and cut 1. Then cut 2 back pieces mirrored. Two outer cups. Then 2 inner cups. Then 2 back pieces. And then just 1 main crotch piece. So we have 1 crotch piece. If you like to, then also cut 1 from the lining fabric. Fabric? What was that? 2 back pieces. 2 front pieces, not 2. 1 front piece, cut on fold. Then 2 outer cups, 2 inner cups, and 2 back bra top pieces. And then we also need 2 upper cup pieces from the lace. Place the pattern piece along the decorative edge of the lace and cut 1. Then take this piece and flip it onto the other side of the lace or the second edge and cut the second one mirrored. We will sew the bra top first. It's the same process as the Adele bra. I'm just making it single layered. So if you watch the full tutorial, you can skip to the next chapter, and I will also write the time here on the screen. Place your outer cups and inner cups right sides together and pin the cup seam. Then we can also pin the back piece right sides together with the outer cup. And sew these 3 pieces using a serger or zigzag stitch. Place your upper cup right sides together with the main fabric cups and pin and sew them together. Place the cups right sides together and pin and sew the center front seam. And backstitch the center front. Then set your machine to zigzag or 3-step zigzag stitch and finish both underarms. Don't forget to leave the faux tail at the cup top. Then trim the seam allowance. Then fold the elastic and stitch both underarms again. Now we can continue with the bodysuit bottom. Place the front and the back pieces right sides together and pin or baste both side seams. and sew both side seams using a serger or zigzag stitch. Now we can join the top and the bottom pieces together. First, mark the center front on the top edge of the bottom piece, and then we also need to find a quarters on the bottom edge, and on the other side as well. Now we can align the center front and also the bra quarters with the side seam of the bottom piece. Now we can easily pin or baste these two pieces together. At this point we can also baste the strap loops in place and sew them in one step when joining these pieces. Or you can sew it after, it's totally okay. I just do it this way, so I will mark the strap loop placement. Yeah, I just like that. And also on the other side. And then I take my basting thread, thread the strap loop through the ring and baste it in a place. So we will sew it into this seam. Oh, when I have the basting thread here in my hand, we can also baste the rings onto the fowy tails we left here on the cap tops. And the second one. Okay, perfect. So they are prepared to sew, but first we will sew the underbust seam. Then pin and sew the center back seam, right sides together. It's time for the crotch piece. So first mark its center and then place it right side facing the right side of the back piece. If you are making the lining version, then you can use the sandwich method. And sew the seam using serger or zigzag stitch. And the best part is coming right now. Please tell me in the comments if you love basting as me. I really want to know that because I love it. And I just relax while I baste so much. So yeah, please tell me that. Now, okay, sorry. Fold your seam allowance to the wrong side and baste it in a place. Okay, now we can also baste the second side. It's better to check if your closure sits. Okay, yeah, I think I cut this piece a little bit smaller, I don't know why. As I told you, this is my fault. You should have the same width of the seam allowance along the leg openings. So it's not the pattern, it's me. It can happen sometimes and it's totally okay. Now we can stitch both leg openings using a zigzag or cover stitch machine. I'm using my cover stitch machine today. Then remove the basting stitches. Oh. And baste and sew your closure. I usually put this part of the closure here to the back piece and the second one with the hooks to the front. Now we can also backstitch the center back seam and stitch the seam allowance to one side. Then secure the strap loops and also the rings at the cup top with small zigzag. Then remove the basting stitches and trim the faux tails. Then we can also remove the basting stitches from the closure. Then finally turn the bodysuit to the right side. And the last thing we need to do is to attach the straps here onto the top rings. I will use the basting thread here. Then take your sliders and thread your straps. and stitch them down with the straight stitch. And remove the basting stitches. And our first bodysuit is done. Let's try it on.